Hello, everyone. Welcome to Barca News. It is November 4th, 2024, and Lamine Yamal has matched Lionel Messi's numbers. Also, there are currently calls in Madrid to cancel the offside rule. Yes, you heard that correctly. And finally, there will be no Atletico Madrid Barcelona match in Miami. We have a lot to discuss, so let's begin. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the channel. My name is Mo. This is the Barca News live podcast, which is on every Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, where we discuss Barcelona news, but where I also get to interact with you lovely people in the chat section by reading your comments, answering your questions, and getting that discussion going. Now, the podcast is always around 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time here in the U.S. We went back an hour because of winter time, whatever the hell you want to call it. It's daylight savings. It ended, but now we went back an hour. So if in your country you guys don't do that, just keep that in mind that I guess it's an hour later for you when the podcast begins. It's a really stupid thing. Daylight saving is a really stupid thing that we have here in the US. But nonetheless, I have no control of it. So just keep that in mind next time you want to watch the podcast live. Now, for those of you who will be watching when the podcast ends, I will be putting timestamps in the description and chapters in the timeline in case you do want to skip through the discussion and only listen to the news. Having said all that, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, drop a comment. If you are looking for any Barcelona jerseys or merchandise, make sure to Gold Kids Kickback or Fanatics. If you are looking to place any sports bets, make sure to bet us. All links are in the description. If you click on them, you get discounts, offers, and you would be helping supporting this channel. All right, let's dive right into the news. And as always, the first segment of news has three little bits of news all combined together. Starting with that today, the team did not train on the field and instead had to train in the gym. They only had a gym session and not an actual session on a field. The reason for that is that there were heavy rains today in Barcelona. Spain right now is getting pummeled by rain. As you know, in Valencia, they had really heavy rains, which caused deadly floodings. More than 200 people have died. Total communities have been destroyed. Today, the rain hit Barcelona. There was some flooding, but nothing serious, nothing devastating like those rains in Valencia. But given the rain, all the fields were way too wet. They were pretty much flooding, and the grass was just impossible to play on. So the team were forced to only train inside the gym. And tomorrow they will have another training session, but of course it will be in Belgrade because the team will be traveling to Belgrade tomorrow. They will train in Belgrade ahead of that Champions League match on Wednesday against Red Star. Hopefully this one less training session will not affect the team. I don't think it will, but nonetheless, you'll know that the team were forced to train inside the gym today due to heavy rains in the city of Barcelona. And speaking of the city of Barcelona, it's been revealed that the city of Barcelona are charging FC Barcelona 7 times more than what they charged Espanyol back when Espanyol was using the Luis Companys Stadium. Now, as you know, the Spotify Camp Nou is undergoing major renovations. As a result, Barcelona had to move to the Olympic Stadium, Luis Companys, at the top of the Montjuic mountain. And of course, in order to do this, they have had to pay rent to the city of Barcelona because the stadium is owned by the city of Barcelona. And it's been revealed that the city of Barcelona have been charging Barcelona 7 times what they charged Espanyol, because Espanyol between 1997 and 2008, they played in Montjuic because their stadium was being built. And during that time, the city of Barcelona were charging Espanyol around 600,000 euros per season. You know how much the city of Barcelona charged our club last season? 4 million euros. So 600,000 Espanyol had to pay. We're paying 4 million euros per season. That's 7 times more than what Espanyol paid. And people still want to say, oh, Barcelona are favorites. They're favored by referees. They're favored by this. Guys, even the city of Barcelona doesn't favor us, charging us 7 times more. Now, I get it. From 2009 till now, a lot of years have passed. Inflation, whatever. Barcelona makes a lot more money than Espanyol. But 7 times more? Seems like a lot. I get it maybe if it was 1 million, maybe even 2 million. as opposed to 600,000. But 4 million versus 600,000, that's a little bit outrageous. But anyways, there's that detail. You let me know your opinion in the comment section. And finally, speaking of stadiums, there will not be a match between Barcelona and Atletico Madrid in Miami here in the US. As you know, La Liga, we're trying to move the Barcelona versus Atletico Madrid match, which is set to be played on December 22nd. They're trying to move it here to Miami, to the Hard Rock Stadium, to be more specific. That's where the Copa America final was played. And of course, La Liga cannot just do that on their own. Now, La Liga, of course, have been trying to do this since 2018. They're trying to bring some matches, official season matches, to the U.S. to promote La Liga here in the U.S., which is the biggest market in the world. Barcelona were in favor of moving this match to Miami because they were going to earn around 6 million euros from it. Atletico Madrid, they were also in favor because they didn't really care. They were going to be visitors anyway, whether it's at Montjuic or whether in Miami, they're visitors anyway. So both teams were in favor of this move. La Liga were in favor of this move, but of course, La Liga cannot just move it on their own. They submitted a request to the Royal Spanish Football Federation for approval. The Royal Spanish Football Federation then decided to consult with the National Sports Council. Like, hey, can we do this? Is this legal? Will we be violating the rules? And the National Sports Council, we're going to consult with the Administrative Sports Court, again, to see what the legality is. And then during the final hours of today, it's been revealed that the Royal Spanish Football Federation actually withdrew their request to consider this or to consult with both the Sports Council and with the Administrative Sports Court. And initially they said it's because La Liga and the organizer, there was a company that's organizing this event, had actually asked for this request to be withdrawn. Both La Liga and the organizer immediately denied that, said we didn't do that, that's a total lie. And while it just seems that the Royal Spanish Football Federation are afraid that this decision might be challenged to allow the game to be moved to Miami, so instead they just decided to cancel it all, and I guess it's not going to happen. On one hand, I think it's, I guess the con to this will be that Barcelona will not make as much money if they played in Florida, but the pro is that, of course, it is more fair to the fans because there are many fans who have season tickets, and to tell these fans, hey, one of the biggest matches of the year is not going to be played at the stadium that you paid season tickets to. Obviously, it's not fair. So there it is. It's not going to happen. All right, let's do the comment section, and then we will talk about Lamine Yamal matching Lionel Messi's numbers. Absolute insanity. All right, Waffle says, imagine a world where Flick's offside couldn't be used. I don't want to live in that world. I'm going to talk about that in a little bit after the Messi Lamine segment because, yes, believe it or not, there are calls in Madrid to cancel the offside rule. This is where we at, ladies and gentlemen. This is where we at. You know, they were so mad that Barcelona humiliated them for so many years under Guardiola, Tito Villanova, Luis Enrique. So they had to justify it with the whole Negreira. Oh, it was the refs, right? It was the referees. It was the bribe, corruption. But now we're humiliating them again. There is no Negreira, right? Because Negreira retired in 2018. He's super old. I think he has early stage dementia. So now they can't use that excuse. And now they have to find something else to hold on to. So I guess now it's just canceled the offside rule. Java the Hut says, with how well Casado and when Bernal was playing are doing, I don't think we need De Jong anymore. Barca should sell him. I mean, if he does not renew, I think yes, should sell him. I don't think we have a need anymore for Frankie De Jong. But at the same time, he is a very good player. He's someone that does contribute to the team. And you always need players that could do that, even if they're coming off the bench. But given how high his salary is, given how much money Barcelona owe him, and how inconsistent his performance has been, I would not mind if we sold him, even though he's a very talented player. Because, again, like you said, I mean, if Bernal fully recovers, goes back to his level that he was before his injury, which I have no doubts he will. And then from there, he just keeps growing and improving because he's only 17 years old. I think between him and Casado, it will be just an absolute beast of a double pivot. McCoy says it's naive to call for the offside rule to be canceled. The rules are the rules. People should just shut up and deal with it. Again, I'll talk about it in a little bit, so I don't want to get ahead of myself. Erect says, good morning, bro. 1:02 a.m. Tuesday morning, Nigerian time. Wow, 1 a.m. Thank you, my friend, for staying up late and watching this podcast, and thank you for your comment. All right, let's see. Nathan says, Mo, when Bernal gets healthy, do you think he benches Casado or Pedri? That's tough. That's tough. I think it would be Casado and Bernal with Pedri more in the attacking midfield position. I think Pedri will have to compete with Dani Olmo. Or if Flick decides to keep Pedri in the double pivot, I think it would be, I don't know. I think it would have to be Pedri and either Casado or Bernal, because Pedri gives you that ball distribution that neither Casado nor Bernal can give you. I mean, they both have that. They're both very good at it. But Pedri is just next level when it comes to his ball distribution, when it comes to building play from being the organizer, pretty much the orchestra director as far as the attack. I think Pedri just gives you that at a higher level than Bernal and Casado. So I think if Flick wants to keep Pedri in a double pivot, it would have to be Pedri next to either Casado or Bernal. Unless Flick decides to do Casado and Bernal and have Pedri play more as an attacking midfielder in the place of Olmo, or have Olmo compete with Pedri. So it's tough. It's a very tough decision. I'm glad I'm not the one who has to make that, because a very, very tough decision. All right, let's see. Let's get back to the news. And let's talk about Lamine Yamal matching Lionel Messi's number. Now, Lamine Yamal, who just won the Copa Trophy, is officially 17 years, 3 months, and 22 days, which is the same exact age that Lionel Messi debuted in First Division football, ironically so, against Espanyol at Montjuic. You know, we just played against Espanyol and Montjuic. Well, the same day, Lionel Messi at the same age, the same exact age, he debuted against Espanyol at Montjuic, because back then Espanyol were using Montjuic, as I explained at the beginning of this video. And of course, given that the both of them are now the same age, the comparisons have started. Like, oh, what do their numbers look like? Now, I'm only doing this comparison not to say Lamine is the next Messi or Lamine is Messi. Not at all. I hate those comparisons. No one's going to be Messi. Messi is Messi. Lamine is Lamine. Two different players. Messi has already built an incredible legendary career. Lamine is just starting to build his. So I don't like the whole, oh, he's the next Messi, the next Messi. Not at all. The only reason I'm bringing you these numbers is just to put into context what Lamine Yamal is doing, so you have an idea of what that looks like on the big stage of football, on that stage where the most legendary players have been. So Lamine Yamal debuted at 15 years, 9 months, and 15 years and 9 months, so a year and a half younger than Lionel Messi. He debuted against Real Betis. And since his debut, he's been absolutely on fire. Of course, at first, he was still getting used to it. But from there, it's just been, boom, like a missile headed into the moon. Now, so far, since Lamine Yamal's debut, he has played a total of 83 matches where he has scored 13 goals and 17 assists. So that's a 30-goal contribution in his 83 matches for Barcelona. This season, he's already at 14 goal contributions, 8 assists, and 6 goals. He's already on his way to completely demolish his numbers from last season, which was 7 goals and 9 assists. So he already has more goals and only 3 less assists, and we're only 2 months into this season. Now, where the comparison is, we know Lamine is killing it. We know he's an absolute nightmare to defenders. He's a starter in Barcelona. He's a starter in Spain. He's a star of Barcelona and a star of Spain. He just won the Euros. He just won the Copa Trophy. But here is where the comparison lies. In Messi's first 50 matches as a professional footballer in First Division, he had 25 goal contributions divided into 21 goals and 4 assists. That's in his first 50 matches. Lamine Yamal, in his first 50 matches, he has had 24 goal contributions divided between 10 goals and 14 assists. So, in their first 50 matches, Lamine Yamal only has 1 goal contribution less than the greatest of all time, Lionel Messi, despite debuting at a much younger age. Remember, Yamal debuted at 15 years and 9 months. Messi debuted at 17 years and 3 months. So despite debuting at a year and a half younger, Yamal only has 1 goal contribution less than the greatest to ever play this sport. Now, again, this is not to compare Messi and Lamine and say Lamine is the next Messi. I think Messi's Messi, Lamine is Lamine. But this is just to put into context what Lamine is doing. And this just shows that Lamine Yamal is simply special. And he is one of those players destined for absolute greatness. He's a generational talent. And the numbers prove it. And of course, the performance too, because every time Lamine touches the ball, you see magic. You know something special is about to happen. And that's exactly what happens every single time. And of course, this is not to forget that Lamine Yamal, despite being the same age as Messi's debut, he's already won the Euros. He's already won the Copa Trophy. So, again, not to say Lamine is the next Messi or he's going to be better than Messi or worse than Messi. This is just to put into context that we have an incredibly special player in our squad and that we're very blessed to have Lamine Yamal, a Masia product, amongst our players. All right, let's get back to the comment section and then we will talk about the calls to cancel the offside rule. Please, referee, stop doing that. We can't compete. Wisdom says, good morning, Mo. Did you see the floods in Barcelona? Oh boy, I hope it doesn't get as bad as the Valencia flood. Climate change and global warming is crazy. So I mentioned that at the beginning of the video. Thankfully, it's not. Yes, there was heavy rains. There was some flooding at the airport and at the port because, of course, they're on the sea. But the rains moved. It stopped. The sun came out. So nothing devastating, nothing serious like what's going on in Valencia. And that's why the team was forced to train inside the gym only. All right, Barian says, good morning, Mo. Live in the house from South Africa after a long time. What did you make of the Espanyol coach saying that we got weaknesses and they're going to win? Too soon? It's funny. I was actually texting my friends when I was watching the match because they had just sent a picture the night before of the quote of the Espanyol coach Manolo saying, you know, Barcelona have weaknesses and, you know, we're going to defeat them, which is hilarious because that guy was saying it like he's the first person to discover that Barcelona play with a high defensive line. Like I can just imagine him walking into the locker room and be like, how are we going to beat them? I got it. They have a high defensive line. We're going to exploit that. And it's like, everybody knows that, bro. Like, you don't have to be a coach or an analyst or a professional to know that. You can just be any person with 2 eyes. Just turn on the TV and you see that Cubarsí and Iñigo Martinez are always at the half line. It's like, everybody knows that, bro. You're not the only one to discover that. And every team has tried to say the same thing, that they're going to exploit Barcelona's backs and high defensive line. And how has that worked out for them? Pretty bad, which we will talk about in a little bit. Triple X says, I've heard Barca fans rejecting Rafael. Well, actually, that will be in Brazilian, Rafael. Leao, linked to us by Jorge Mendes. Leao is a Ballon d'Or level winner. Yes, he's lazy, but Flick will change him. Rafinha is good, but he can't dribble anyone. I'm for bringing a left winger that can dribble. Not because I think Rafinha is doing an amazing job on the left, but certain situations do call for wingers who can dribble. And right now we only have one, which is Lamine on the right, which leaves our left flank as a weakness in the attack. It's also a weakness in general because Rafinha, even though he plays on the left, he mostly plays as an interior. He plays through the middle a lot because that's where he's best at, right? So a lot of times the left flank is exposed. A lot of times Balde is the only one left to cover that. And that's why he gets a lot of flack from fans who don't quite understand football too well. And they're always like, oh, Balde sucks. Balde. No, it's not that Balde sucks. He has to cover the whole field, the whole left flank by himself. Any player who's asked to cover that entire left flank is going to be exposed because he has no one to help him. He has to go all the way up in the attack and has to go all the way back down to defend, and there's no one to help him because Rafinha plays more as an interior. So I am in favor of bringing a left winger, a specialist in that position. That way that flank is not just left completely up to Balde. That way Balde has some help with the pressing with the attacking, and he doesn't have to cover the whole thing by himself. I also am in favor of bringing a left winger who knows how to dribble, because some situations call for that. Some situations you have defenses where you can't try to take advantage of their backs, which is Rafinha's really good at, right? Rafinha's really good at running behind the defenders and getting those long balls, right? He's really, really good at that. But some defenses, that doesn't work. Some defenses, you have to have wingers that can dribble in order to unlock the defense, right? So that's why I think we do need a specialist in the left wing. As far as Leao, I'm not too in favor of bringing him, because it's just going to be too expensive. And I don't think we should go back to the times where Barcelona were spending 100, 150 million per player. We saw where that led us. I don't want that. Also, Leao, you said it yourself. He's lazy. Now, at this age, if you're lazy, you're lazy. I don't think any coach can change that. Just look at Joao Felix. How many teams has he gone through? Atletico Madrid, Chelsea, Barcelona, now Chelsea again. And nothing has changed. He has gone through 4 or 5 different coaches, 3 different clubs, and nothing has changed. So I don't think any coach can change that. It's up to the player himself. The player has to want to not be lazy. The player has to want to work hard and sweat and sacrifice. You know, it's like Rafinha, right? Rafinha was underperforming the last 2 seasons, but he was just as hardworking as he is now, right? Because it's up to the player to be a hard worker, not the coach. And if Leao is lazy, I don't see Flick changing it. It's up to Leao to change it himself. But anyways, all right, let's get back to the news, because, ladies and gentlemen, right now there are calls in Madrid to cancel the offside rule. No, this is not a joke, and no, it is not April Fool's Day, because it's still November. But this guy, Tomás Roncero, if you don't know who he is, he's a TV personality in Spain. TV personality is actually quite putting it nicely. He's a clown. Simple. And I'm not saying it for now because of what he said now. He's literally always a clown. He's always embarrassing himself on TV. He's always saying ridiculous, outrageous crap, to put it in a nice way. But he's a clown. But let's say he's a TV personality to be nice to this guy. But in his latest clownish act, Tomás Roncero wrote an article calling for the offside rule to be canceled, and also saying that Flick's Barcelona need to be brave and stop hiding behind the offside rule. So he's saying that Flick and Barcelona are cowards because they're hiding behind the offside rule. Now, take a second and just digest that a little bit. Just think about this stupidity that this guy just said. Breathe. Okay. First of all, Barcelona is probably one of the bravest teams in La Liga. And I'm not just saying that because I'm a Barcelona fan, because it's a fact. To play with your defenders so high up, to play with your goalkeeper so far away from goal, that takes a lot of courage. So that is the opposite of what Tomás Roncero is doing, because when you play that high of a defensive line, you are just inviting the goals to come. You're inviting the other team to counterattack you. You're inviting the other team to try to score goals, to try to chip your goalkeeper, because your goalkeeper is so far away from his net. That takes a lot of risk. So to say that the high defensive line is cowardly is just being stupid. That's the simple way I could put it. Second thing I want to say, to try to say that Barcelona should not use the offside rule, you are saying that teams should not abide by the rules, because the offside rule, it's a rule in football. It's like saying, you know what? I don't like that I have a forward who cannot really score with his feet. So I want to change the rule to allow him to score with his hands, because he's a lot more accurate with his hands than he is with his feet. Because that's what this guy is saying, right? We should change the rule because the current rule is not favorable to him. Or you know what? There's this opposing team whose striker is really tall and he's always scoring headers. So you know what? We should change the rules to where headers are not allowed, because that guy is just scoring on me. Or you know what? Better yet, while we at it, I don't like that the opposing team has a good goalkeeper and keeps blocking my shots. So they should just change the rule where teams don't have to play with a goalkeeper. Just remove the goalkeeper. Are you fucking kidding me? Is this where we at? Is this the level of patheticness that's going on in Madrid, where instead of self-examining, instead of saying, why did we get humiliated? Why do we have a team full of stars? Why we have spent hundreds of millions to bring people like Mbappe, like Jude Bellingham, like Vinicius Rodrigo, and despite that, we are playing horrible football. No, let's not look at that. Let's try to change the rules to benefit us. So when I say that Tomás Roncero is a clown, I'm not saying that because he's a Madridista. I'm saying that because he's a true clown. Because instead of calling for the rules to change because you don't like them, how about you do some self-examination and figure out why Madrid is not working? Because the offside rule is not the problem. Flick is not the problem. Barcelona is not the problem. You guys are the problem. You have to figure out what the problem is, and you guys have to figure out how to fix that problem instead of crying and trying to change the rules to favor you. This is absolutely pathetic, but nonetheless, it does not surprise me to come from the Real Madrid corner. Now, to put it into perspective and to just so you can see why they are so butthurt about the offside rule. So far, Barcelona in 15 matches, they have been able to get 13 goals disallowed thanks to the offside trap, and they have caused 99 offsides. Crazy statistic, and no wonder this guy is crying and calling for the rules to be changed because, of course, if you can't beat him, I guess, whine about him and try to change the rules to your favor. All right, let's get back to the chat section, and then we will talk about Deco and Jean Laporta. Let's see, where did we leave off? Amza says, hi, Mo. Greetings from South Africa. I'm so excited with the way our team is playing. I hope we get a defender if you want to strengthen the squad, but I'd make an exception for Rafael. I don't think we need a defender. We have Iñigo, Coarci, Araujo, Christensen. I think we have enough defenders. They just obviously need to be healthy, but I don't think we need more defenders. If anything, we are pretty stacked on that. We still have Eddie Garcia, of course, who can play as a center back, even though Flick prefers him as a DM. But yeah, Hart, my man Hart says offside trap exists like just forever. Then they called to cancel it after Real Madrid was trash on their own stadium. Pure bitterness. It's not knowing how to lose. It's like I said. It's like, oh hey, Espanyol goalkeeper, he blocked a lot of our shots. That match could have been 6-1. So you know what? Let's just cancel goalies. I don't like goalies. I mean, it could have been 6-1. What the hell? That's not fair. Let's just cancel goalies, right? Curtis says, so what? Now we should allow players to be offside a little bit. Anyone says this cannot accept their losses. Exactly. That's exactly what's going on. And I'm honestly not surprised because, like I said before, Real Madrid are like children throwing tantrums. When something doesn't go their way, they throw tantrums. When for many years Barcelona humiliated them time and time again, they threw the tantrum by saying, oh, Barcelona won because the referees and because of Negreira. But anyone with an IQ higher than a rock, which is the IQ of a lot of these Real Madrid fans, can watch a game of how Pep Guardiola used to beat their opponents, and there's no way you can tell me that was thanks to refereeing errors. I mean, you would have to be pretty stupid to think that Barca's under Guardiola superiority was due to refereeing errors. But, you know, like I said, petulant children who we don't like something, they just throw a tantrum and then try to justify it any other way instead of accepting, hey, okay, yes, they are superior to us. Let's figure out why they're being superior to us. Let's try to improve ourselves so we can compete against them and be better than them. No. Let's throw tantrums. Let's blame it on the refs. Let's blame it on Negreira. Oh, no, wait. We don't have Negreira and the refs to blame it now? Okay, fine. Let's change the rules. Pathetic. That's one way to describe it. Pathetic. Wisdom says, will be funny if Yamal, Rafa, or any Barcelona player wins Ballon d'Or next year. Vini Jr. and Real Madrid might quit Spain and have multiple epileptic convulsions. I think, honestly, this was the last year that Vinicius had a shot at it. I really do. Because now you have Lamine Yamal, who, despite being 17, is already showing that he's 10 times better than Vinicius. And he's only 17. And he's only going to get better and better and better and better. So if Lamine is already better than Vinicius at this age, can you imagine him as he gets better? The gap is only going to widen. And it's going to be like Vinicius who. So, sorry, Vinicius. By the way, all the fans around the stadium, around La Liga, have agreed to sing. They have all come up with the same song, and they're all going to sing it against Vinicius Jr. Because Vinicius Jr., you know, every time someone insults him, he plays the race card, right? Oh, they're insulting me because I'm black. And yeah, sometimes it's true. Sometimes they do insult him because he's black and they throw racist insults at him. But a lot of times people are just insulting him because he's a clown, right? He's constantly diving. He's always talking shit to the other players. He's always talking shit to the opposing coach. He's always talking shit to the fans. He's always talking shit to the rest. And nobody does anything. So the fans get frustrated and they call him names. So now, instead of calling him names, so that way, he doesn't keep pulling the race card, they're going to start singing Vinicius Jr. Balón de Playa, which means beach ball. Like he won the beach ball, not a Ballon d'Or. So, and actually, that song was heard being played in the match against Espanyol. Ben says, hello, Mo, watching it from Ghana. I hope our dear Spotify Camp Nou is completed soon. We can't be spending on a stadium. Most of the fans ain't even visiting to watch the games. I agree. Thankfully, this time around this season, the attendance has increased a lot in comparison to last season, which is understandably so. People don't want to go all the way. I've been to Montjuic, by the way. It's literally at the top of a mountain. The mountain's called Montjuic. And no private cars are allowed, so you have to take public transportation to go up. And nobody wants to go all the way to the top of a mountain, have to take public transportation to see a team play dreadful football, because that's exactly what was going on last season, even though there's still people trying to tell me that Xavi did a good job. Mind-blowing. But anyways, so of course it makes sense now. And once we back at Spotify Camp Nou, people even going to want to go more, right? Because there's still people like locals and club members who are like, I don't want to go all the way there. But Spotify Camp Nou, it's much more accessible. You have the subway, you have buses, you can drive, it has a parking lot. And plus, with how the team is playing, like I won't be surprised if the Spotify Camp Nou will be sold out every single match until the end of the season. All right, let's do the last bit of news. It's really short, and then we'll do more comments and we'll end it. But let's talk about our sporting director, Deco, because the Portuguese-Brazilian, I guess. Well, he's Brazilian, born and raised in Brazil, but he changed his citizenship or adopted the Portuguese citizenship so he can play for Portugal since, back then there was no way you were going to play for Brazil when you had, Ronaldinho, Ronaldo, Rivaldo, Cafu, Roberto Carlos. So I would have done the same. But anyways, the Brazilian Portuguese sporting director, Deco, has pledged his loyalty to Joan Laporta. Now, Joan Laporta has yet to declare his candidacy for 2026. He hasn't outright said, hey, I'm running in 2026. However, everybody close to him are saying that, yes, that they see him very motivated, that he wants to run in 2026. But of course, it's all going to depend on results. If things are not going well, he probably won't run again. He step down and let someone else take over. But if things keep going great, most likely he will run again. But nonetheless, it's reported that Deco has informed Joan Laporta that if he does run again in 2026, that he would like to, stay by his side, to continue being his sporting director. In other words, pledging his loyalty to the Barcelona president. Now, hate it or love it, you guys let me know. Do you like if Deco continue to be a sporting director? I know he's gotten a lot of hate. A lot of times I haven't personally understood it. He has done some things wrong, but I think he's also done a lot of good things. But you guys let me know in the comment section. Would you like to see Deco continuing being a sporting director if Joan Laporta runs again? Or would you prefer to see someone else? Now, there was a lot of calls of people saying Chiqui Bereguinsta. I can never say his last name. Chiqui. Chiqui was the sporting director under when Pep Guardiola was here. When Pep Guardiola moved to Manchester City, Chiqui moved with him. And, now that both Pep Guardiola and Chiqui are leaving Manchester City, there are a lot of people saying, oh, Chiqui's going to come back. I think it's time to close the chapter and move on. Pep is not coming back. Chiqui's not coming back. Messi's not going to come back. Those were the golden years, and they were going to remain there. So close chapter. Stop thinking that all these people are going to come back. They're not. Let's move on. Let's look towards the future, and let me know whether you would like to see Deco or would you like to see someone else. All right, let's get back to the comment section. Let's see. Where did we leave off? Channel says, hi, Mo, watching live from the Gambia in West Africa. Can you please clarify the transfer rumors surrounding Leao from AC Milan? My opinion is that we do not need him as far as Coutinho is on fire. The rumors is Leao is looking to leave. He's had a falling out with the AC Milan's coach, Rafael Costa, if I'm not mistaken. That's his name. It's Costa. I can't remember his first name. Anyways, irrelevant. And he's been benched. And of course, he doesn't like that. He wants to leave. And his agent, Jorge Mendes, has already started making moves to get him out as soon as this winter. So in January, that's like what, in 2 months. As such, Barcelona are kind of paying attention to the situation. Doesn't mean that we'll sign him. Doesn't mean that we'll try to sign him. But they're tracking the situation to see what's going to happen. Because there is a chance that we might take him on loan, right? Because if AC Milan are desperate to get rid of him, Leao is desperate to leave, went to transfer market. then maybe Barcelona can be like, look, this is you guys' problem. Let me take your problem off your hands. I'll bring them to the club for a loan and try them out. If that's the case, I'm for it. Otherwise, I'm not for it because I'm not, because Rafael Leao right now, they're saying AC Milan would want 120 to 150 million. That was in the summer. Now, let's say they're like, okay, we're desperate to get rid of him. We'll give you a discount. How much is the discount going to be? Probably 100 million, right? Plus, Leao is not going to come to Barcelona to make, 6-7 million euros. He's going to want a big salary. So between the big salary, the huge transfer fee, it's just, I wouldn't want that because, again, we should not go back to the times where we were signing players for 100, 150 million. We saw where that led us. We shouldn't go back down that path. Not to say that Leao is not good enough for Barcelona. Don't get me wrong. Leao is incredibly talented, probably the best left winger in the world. But let's not go down that road where we're just throwing money away. Rex says, I once think we didn't need Frankie anymore, but after seeing his contribution in Madrid, I said, Frankie, please reduce your salary and stay. If he agrees to renew and reformulate the whole debt that we owe him, and stretch it out over more years and reduce his salary, I'm more for it. But given how much he's costing us, something like 26 million a year, something ridiculous, I just cannot justify it because right now Frankie's not a starter. She's not, right? We have Casado, Pedri, and Olmo. Those look like they are Flick's starters. Would I like to have Frankie on the bench? Of course. Frankie's a very talented player. Who doesn't want to have a midfielder like Frankie on the bench? But do I want to be paying 26 million euros a year to a bench player? No, right? And that was part of the problem for me last season with Rafinha, right? Because we had paid 60 million for Rafinha. He's earning around 10 million a season. And I was like, is Rafinha a great player to come off the bench? Sure, because at the point, he was a bench player, right? He had been benched by Dembélé, then he was benched by Lamine, then we moved him to the left, and he got benched by Fermin. So I was like, it doesn't make sense to pay 60 million in transfer fee plus another 10 million in salary to a bench player. That's just too much. But thankfully, Rafinha turned things around, and now he's not Rafinha, he's Coutinho. Frankie, I just don't see him benching Casado, benching Pedri, or benching Olmo. And then we have to think about Bernal when he comes back. Can Frankie bench Bernal too? I don't see it. So to me, would I love to have Frankie on the bench? Absolutely. Would I want to pay him 26 million a season to be on the bench? Hell no. I don't even want to pay 26 million to a starter, let alone to a bench player. Philip says, Mo, it's my first time commenting from Nigeria. Kudos to you. Great job. Thank you, my friend, for commenting, and thank you for joining. I hope to see you more often, and I hope to see you commenting more often. The Matrix says Messi was more dangerous at 17. You seem to forget he has a hat trick against Real Madrid. They're two different players, right? Plus, remember, Messi debuted at an older age. Yes, Lamine is the same age now, but Lamine is just starting to get in the zone. And despite debuting at a younger age, despite just barely starting, get into that more dangerous zone, and be better with his decision-making, they still have the same numbers, which is crazy. Again, I'm not comparing Lamine to Messi. Messi's the GOAT. I know I always say Coutinho, but that's obviously just in a joking manner to say that Rafinha is doing amazing. The GOAT is the GOAT. It's just Messi. There's not going to be another GOAT because it's in the name, greatest of all time. I hate when people just, this is the GOAT and that is the GOAT. It's like they can't be. It's greatest of all time, not greatest. So there can only be one GOAT, and that GOAT is Messi. Again, I'm not trying to say Lamine is going to be Messi, but this is just to put into context that Lamine is on his path to be one of the greatest of the sport. John says, good morning, Mo. I am watching Zambia. Great work, and I love you, man. And my prayer is that God should protect you more in peace as you go for election. Thank you, my friend. That's very sweet of you. Thank you for your message. May God bless you too. All right, let's see what else. Nicholas says, Mo, 819, Trinidad Times. Just hopefully make sure the youth don't get well ahead. 819. Okay, so I guess you guys are ahead by an hour. Well, we went back an hour. So, all right, let's see. Prince says, hey, Mo, my name is Raymond Prince from Nigeria. Thanks for your good work, and I appreciate your support, bringing us updates all the time. Nice one, Mo. Do you think Gabi might start soon? Thank you, my friend. I don't think Gabi's going to start soon because, remember, he just came back from a very, 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 very serious injury, completely torn ACL and damaged meniscus. Those injuries used to end careers. 10 years ago, if you had the injury, you were done. Doesn't matter if you were 19 or 30. So very serious injury. And no, he's not going to start because you need to bring him back slowly. We've seen him starting to get more and more minutes. It was 5 minutes, then it was 7. I think this last match it was 10. That's the way you do it. You bring him back slowly, more and more and more. Eventually 15, then 20, then maybe 30. Then maybe bring him in halftime, full 45. And then maybe we can start thinking about starting him and then just playing full 60. And then slowly. So I don't see Gabi starting anytime soon. I don't see Gabi playing full 90 minutes anytime soon. Maybe next year, January, February, maybe. But remember, very, very serious injury. We need to take care of him. We can't just be like, oh, you're healthy? Cool, go. You play 90 minutes of every match, and then boom, there goes his ACL again, right? You need to strengthen those muscles. You need to strengthen those tendons slowly, right? You don't go to the gym and try to bench 100 kilos on day one. No, you start low. You start with 20, then 30, then 50. You get the point. All right, let's see. I don't know if I got that number right because here we use pounds, but you get the point. I don't know if 100 kilos is a lot or not, or if 10 kilos is a lot or not. Pounds. Triple X says, you guys chatting, Leao is trash, need to quit football. Leao is better than all of them. Yeah, look, if you don't like Leao or if you prefer another player to Leao, that's one thing. But to try to say Leao is trash, or come on, guys. I don't know why we live in this dichotomous world or polarized world where people are like, you either great or you suck. And it's like, no, it's not just white or black. There's a lot in between. You could be great, or you could be very good, or you could be good, or you could be okay, and you could be, bad. You could be very bad. You could be terrible. It's not just you're either great or you're bad. To say Rafael is trash, come on. You either don't know anything about football, or you're just being disingenuous on purpose. And I don't know which one is worse. Probably being disingenuous on purpose is worse because at least you know what the truth is and you're just lying just to prove your point. So to say Leao is trash, let's be real, guys. You might not like him. You might prefer other players. You might think other players are better than him, but to say he's trash, let's be real. The Matrix says, with a face like that, I wouldn't watch him. Would watch him to laugh. He must be funny, and you have to be brave to play a high line. It gave me a heartache every time. If you want to laugh, actually just YouTube Tomas Roncero crying, and you should see. He has all these videos where he just watch his reaction to the 0-4. He was in the booth where they broadcast the matches, and he was like losing it, just losing it. And he has a lot of videos of those, him just losing it. He's a clown. That's what he is. He's a clown. No self-respecting man would ever say the shit that he says. But, some people, I don't know if he does it for attention or if he legitimately is that stupid. He could be. I don't know. I guess he would have to be diagnosed. Let's see. Joseph says, no, that is not being stopped to use the same rules. Let's go ahead. I am watching from Liberia. All right. Welcome, my friend, all the way from Liberia. And Ben says, Mo, please forgive the Madrid guy. He is still hurt. He is in pain. His brain ain't working. Yeah, I think that's what happened. I think the pain was too much. It just overcame all his senses, and his brain just shut up. Prince says, I saw that if Koundé plays on next 3 matches, it will be 1 year since he missed a Barcelona game. Yeah, it is true. It's crazy, by the way. That guy's, I think he's the one who's played the most. Last season, it was him and Gundo, and now Gundo's gone, and Koundé's still playing every match. It's crazy. Christian says, I wouldn't be surprised with all this whining Real Madrid supporters are doing and how the Liga always is in favor of Real Madrid. For next season, they make some changes to the offside rule. I don't think they can. I think it would have to go through probably FIFA because that's an international rule. I don't think that's something La Liga could do on their own. The Matrix says, Vinny's like an orange cat. He always dunks some BS, and when people start to do it, he is pissed. He attacked the refs every match and don't even get a yellow card. Yeah, what he is allowed to do is insane. He has literally walked up to refs and called them a piece of shit. Literally, like, I'm not exaggerating. You can go and watch the video back. Like, literally, in the ref's face, called him a piece of shit. Can you imagine if any player did that? Not only would that be a direct red, but you're talking about 3, maybe 5 match suspension. Remember, Lewandowski got 3 matches for doing this. But Vinny calls refs pieces of shit to their face. And then Real Madrid fans have the balls to say that they are always disfavored by the ref. Like, how delusional do you have to be to actually legitimately think that? Max says, Rodri deserved the Ballon d'Or. For Madrid fans, international trophies only met in 2016, and Euro is bigger than the World Cup. I wouldn't say the Euro is bigger than the World Cup because the World Cup is the World Cup. It's the entire world. It's not just Europe. But I think both Vini and Rodri deserved it. Only one of them could win. Rodri won. Does that mean it was a robbery? No. Again, that's just Madrid being petulant children, throwing tantrums when things don't go their way. Let's see. Marcel says, hey, Mo, this is Marcel from Colorado. All right. I'm curious to see what are your thoughts regarding the season in Barcelona and who's going to win the Super Cup. I mean, the season's going right. Barcelona stay playing this level of football. We have a great shot at winning La Liga because right now, Barcelona are the best team in La Liga. And I'm not just saying that as a Barca fan. I'm saying that as a football fan. You watch how Barcelona plays football and you watch how all the other teams play, and Barcelona are, objectively speaking, the best team in La Liga. If Barcelona maintain this level of football, or if even it gets better, because according to Flick, he says the best is yet to come. He doesn't even think that the team has reached its maximum potential. So if we stay on this path, we have a great chance of winning La Liga. We have a great chance of winning the Spanish Super Cup. Now, are we going to win it or not? I don't know. I don't have a crystal ball. But again, right now, we're the best team in La Liga, undoubtedly. That is why there's calls to cancel the offside rule. If we weren't the best team in La Liga, nobody would care about our offside trap. Jose Aguilar says, Roncero and Edu Aguirre are a bunch of delusional people. They cry and whine more than my 1-year-old. I wouldn't say delusional. I think that's being too nice to them. I think they are pathetic, whiny people who have the intellect capability of a rock. That's what I would say. But anyways, one more and we'll end this. But Rex says, Florentino Perez is a football sugar daddy. He protects Madrid players' stupidity. That's why Vini and Ramos and Pepe got away with all their shenanigans. I agree. And honestly, the only reason there was disappointment when Vini was not announced, the only ones that fall for that is Madrid themselves. Because it's Madrid who created this campaign, this marketing campaign, this thought that Vini was the winner. No one else was thinking that until Madrid started saying it out loud, that Vinicius was going to win, that he deserved to win. And so they disappointed themselves. They're the ones who set their own expectations, saying that Vinicius was the winner. And then when they didn't win, they're like, oh, damn, it was a robbery. No, it wasn't a robbery. You were the ones who created this lie. And when the lie was exposed, you got mad that the lie was exposed. It's like me setting fire to my house. And then when the whole house is engulfed in a big flame, I'm like, oh no, my house is on fire. Well, yeah, it's on fire because I set it on fire. Maybe I shouldn't have set it on fire. How about that? Maybe you shouldn't have started a marketing campaign claiming that Vinicius was the winner. And then you wouldn't have disappointed your own player when you made him believe. You made him believe that he was the winner. And then when he wasn't declared the winner, you were like, oh, it's a robbery. No, you're the ones who lied to him. Why the fuck did you lie to him? You shouldn't have lied to him to begin with. Have you thought about that? But that's the thing, though. Madrid think they have this divine right to win anything, that they deserve to win things, whether they actually deserve it or not. Like, God just anointed them. Like, oh, here, you deserve to win everything. And when it doesn't happen, the only justification is robbery, referees, conspiracies, right? Because they have such a divine right to win everything that when they don't, it has to be a conspiracy, right? It has to be Negreira. It has to be the referees. It has to be the rules, right? Because there's no way that they didn't win because they didn't deserve to win. No, they have a divine right to win everything. They deserve to win everything. And therefore, if they don't, it's someone else's fault, not their own. Absolutely pathetic. But at this point, not surprising at all. Anyways, that is all, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you for your likes, your comments, and subscriptions. If you haven't subscribed yet, make sure to click on that button. Make sure to comment and hit the like button as well. I will see you tomorrow. There's no more news videos. There wasn't a lot of news today, but I will see you tomorrow. And as always, peace, cabas.